Can I just bring you back a foot? I see your knees. It's a really wide shot. All right, everybody straight down the middle again. Take it, Jim.
Yeah.
Locked away.
It's been really special to hear from young women how they've been inspired by Midge and her journey in different ways. I've heard young women who left their shitty husbands, go them, who quit their shitty jobs, who tried something new. A lot of young women trying stand-up comedy for the first time, which is so awesome and long overdue. It's been incredible to hear how Midge's legacy has already affected people, and I'm really excited to see how she lives on.
And Jason looking back. Jason looking back.
I mean, honestly, the parts of the show that strike me the most are the Midge and Lenny Bruce moments. It's just like so sexy, honestly. You know, like I was always rooting for that couple. You know, I wanted them to get together.
Check 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 10.
It's bittersweet, of course, because it was the greatest gig ever. The cast has had a long-running family text thread. I don't see that ending anytime soon. And, you know, we're off to the Cannes TV Festival after this, so we'll be hanging out there. Yeah, we're not going to ever say goodbye. And I predict now, for you, in 4.3 years, we'll be here talking about the Maisel movie. There, I said it.
6-year experience. Well, let's talk about the possible 2 endings. So, did you guys film 2 endings? Or are there 2 endings depending on how the season goes for everyone? And the final season will be depending on how the audience is to it? Or
Are you saying there's a rumor that there are 2 endings?
well, there are 2 endings according to Rachel, but
I think the greatest thing that Maisel has done, what Amy did in crafting the show, was she got it right, the female relationship. It's not perfect. We don't make any sense together. We're a bit like Mutt and Jeff. It makes no sense. And yet there's just this chemistry. There's something that draws these women together, and they've got each other's backs. And it's not about finding a mate. It's about achieving something in their lives that they want. It's about filling a hole within, and they complete each other.
I found my way to the exit without too much challenge.
It certainly felt daunting because of the kind of scope of his mythology. But, you know, it also felt, like, you know, I can imagine, very exciting. I'm very fond of him, you know, I was prior to doing the show. So, you know, and the idea that it might help introduce some younger, newer people to this guy, that's an amazing thing to get to participate in. I hope I did it a modicum of justice.
I'm just proud to be a part of a project that does showcase that, and, you know, to be one of the only black women on the show and be included in that kind of breaking the ceiling story is so monumental. Representation is so important, so I'm just very proud.
Well, it's exactly what you said is so wise and so right. On one hand, you can look and say, it wasn't that long ago, and we've kicked that football way down the field. And on the other hand, we still have a long way to go. But thanks to the Palladinos, they're telling women's stories. There's a lot of women's stories untold. This is a great one, and it's the beginning.
I think it's time for change. I mean, and we keep saying it, and it doesn't happen fast enough. Little tiny steps and movements forward, and then many movements back. I think that's probably the most sort of pathetic and sad part of this, is you would think that if you do a show in the 50s and you're moving another 70-something years from that time, you wouldn't have to look back and say, we're still experiencing the same, but we are.
From what I understand, even though we didn't know how many seasons it may go or may not go, Amy and Dan always had the final scene in their heads. They didn't know exactly how we were going to get there, but they knew where we were going to land. And I think we all, by osmosis, we all felt that too.
Well, to be honest, I kind of enjoyed being in a world where there was no social media. I mean, obviously, you know, when they yell cut, we're back on our phones and everything, but I am nostalgic for that type of world where internet doesn't exist and social media and, yeah, just everything that's kind of bringing this world down.
And one more in the middle. And right in the center.
And Rachel right here.
I'll tell you the question that I want to answer here is the most amazing thing I've seen is Rachel at the table read of the pilot. I have never seen somebody take command of a really intimidating room like that in my life. And she was so young when she did that, and she just wrecked the room. She was just a wrecking ball and owned that role and owned that room, and it was the most impressive performance I've ever seen in my life.